to class. All right, setting signals and high setting line rotation interference, release and location of jam settings. If you understand the line position locations, all levels of atmosphere line settings, all of communication to quantum interference, it sets locations to all levels of flight navigation stream sets. Get you guys into Merkaba positions to all of your test network settings. You have to recognize communication of program locations. This all positions its timelines into all levels calculations. So really recognize the communication. When I look at my computer set, you recognize the communication space line, right? It has communication of a control, has line setting location of alt spacebar line setting, all correlation system in position line directions, balance in all line setting, masculinity, femininity. You split the computer in interference line position location to its own flux capacitor. Has its own line connections. Very powerful command of communication. So recognizing line setting interference, we're going to set up cyclone locations of channel upper streamlines. This is wired deposits, sets lines to high positions and levels, higher communication satellite and travel locations. This puts you in a higher division locations into 222 line center interference, 333 line position locations that calculate streamlines. The correlation line interference location is correlation of timelines. The position location of its all levels is formation. Formation location comes into flight navigation location 1 to 12, 12 to 1 line setting. Put you in your zero gravity interference line position locations. You guys are going into the line position locations into your higher self setting for the very first time through activation. You have to recognize the high center location of 10 lines, which is your family interference. You have to stand position location 8 line, which is your correlation system. You have to stand position location 11, which is your solar system line conditions. You have to stand the solar generation streams. You have to stand the jump scar set locations, the measures and calculation high setting. Sequence patterns, planetary solar system line position, orbits, channels, interstellar, interconnect line setting, interline rotation, position location, direct interference. You have to understand the XT style line center rotation, formation location, dimensional line center, operation cycles, energy set locations, energized rotation line position locations, all levels of escape. Escape sets channels after streamlines. It sets position location directions, right? The energies, the systematic location of communication, the cooperation set locations, channels, operation line settings. Get you guys in your avatar line interference. Okay. Setting communication at 13 is the higher self line setting. Now, this is a golden arch, golden cycle, golden rounds. This is correlation system, the ground to the angelic settings, space atmosphere line position and direct location. It's the inner core line setting. So your avatar sets line position locations until it gets into 114 line setting. 114, one line setting, one ground setting, rotation to solar generation streamlines into all position location near 12,000 signatures. Position line direct location is a 24 line setting. That's a 24,000 light signature location and program setting. It gets complicated as we go. So understanding position line directions is trying to stand your line conditions, your 12 DNA track locations. Put you guys in the higher levels of DNA settings. 144,000 line streamline position location is your DNA of a process calculation stream slide. That sets position location directions to a new form line setting that puts you in a higher communication operation location. Setting communication is trying to understand you through all levels of flight navigations and form line settings. You got forms of 1, positions of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11, and 12, all through position locations into protocol setting. Correlation set on the interference locations into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Right? Why do you think your computer set and your keyboards are frame set location and position line directions? Why do you think you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 0? So your computer reset location is backwards. It's got to be 0 to 9, not 9 to 0. Ooh, wow. Setting signals in high position locations, changing panel calculated streamlines. Setting communication interference is setting probe locations. Allocate position of timelines times streams times pi. Your position location is times sector. Setting correlation system. You guys are now in 6-line communications into program interference. All right, so you got 6 channel upper streamlines. Okay. 6 equal location of 7-line setting. Right. 7 rotates its position location of 8. 8. Okay, equal locations of 8, 8 position. All right. Center calculations in the infinity cycle set line in position locations into an orb channel upper stream. It's a fishbowl. 6 comes in position location to a new ground setting into 0 gravity locations. 0 equals 6, 6 equals 12 setting. Sets position location of directions. right? One channel operator streamline is to understand your position location, how to use your number sequence location, pattern line, interference location, operators, and locations. Setting calculation streamline sets you all in position directions. So you got 0 line setting, 2 panels operator streamline. So you got 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, inset location, inset locations, inset locations, inset locations, right? So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all right? So that's 7 channels, equal line conditions over pi. Okay, it's going to get complicated because you understand position, location, and directions. Now, once you get in line setting and high line interference, it sets 8 position. 8 is infinity cycle. 8 position location of 8, equal locations of 8, into back force communication of 8 settings. 8 equals 8, 8 equals 8, 8 equals 8. So that's position location of 16. In position of 16 line setting sets position locations into 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1. Okay. Now the correlation sign system is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The center calculation comes into 14. Now 14 is ground line setting. So all this is coordinated position line directions to all position locations and how you use your tracker settings of activation stream locations. Once you understand the stargates to each different core line center to your tracker setting interference, you understand the provocations when you operate higher signals into your position. You guys are coming into all equation sets lines and quasar interference line position locations into factors over pi calculation streamlines. Okay, you're coming into fractions of operation of quantum interference. Setting correlation setting is to understand how to measure these communications into 5 channels of high setting, 5 channels operation locations, into 16 position locations of channel operation streamlines. You got an 8 line setting, 8 rotation, 8 position location, 8 line setting interference. Setting locations are level, 7 equal location over pi. The reposition location is 7 communication settings, 7 line setting, 7 rotation interference. Setting communication is truly understanding how to use your position of all levels. Now, this is where we come into cyclone interference. Cyclone interference sets up all channel operation locations. Hello, telephone call, setting signals and high center interference and position location directions. Setting channels to operate stream location. Very complicated stuff. Correlation system opens up another cyclone setting. Rotation interference and track location setting. Rotation interference and position locations into 2 panels of operator stream locations. Setting communication setting. In rotation interference, you're setting correlations. So when you get into 14, you're automatically into what? Magnetic fields. Magnetic field line center sets position to what? 5 signals, 5 rotations, 5 center generation stream lines. That's 5 correlation set lines of generation stream location. Setting correlation settings and position line direction locations opens all levels of channel operation location 12 DNA sets. Very complicated stuff. Now, because you guys are opening signals into all levels of 10 line, into 11 is your solar system locations, coming into your solar planetary line center 12 DNA. So 12 planets will set in signal in a correlation panel, setting correlation setting location of bridges and communications. All right. That's where you come into the rainbow, you come into the bio, you come into line communications, to its water, and position location is fire bridge set location. 4 generation streamlines and set locations into position location of GOD. Setting correlation high center interference in your position locations in your 12, which is divine. Overlooking skylines and sky grid locations, down looking set lines and communications in position. 2 line tracks, 3 positions, 4, 5 set location. 5 generation streamlines and 5 teleportation stream locations into a barcode recognition time setting. High position location in the moon, set location of the sun, set communication. Set in signal and position of atom. Rotation spin cycle. 6, 7, and 8. Travel through location, out through equation. Setting signals is very powerful stuff because the thing is, once you guys get into your higher self for the very first time through activation streamlines, you come into all correlated settings into a higher communication of security positions. Security position line center locations. All right. Setting correlation setting is a very powerful position location directions. So the foundation comes into your number sequence locations of patterns, right? So your zero gravity is already set locations when you come in your navigation stream sets, pre-flights, pre-lines, pre-channel operation stream locations, operation cycles, or anything through navigation cycle system. The set line position location is the cycle line center interference, the cyclones high center line position of a teleportation stream set. It sets locations into channel operation stream locations, right? So it's important you understand, once you get into 15 chakras of activation streamlines, you come into a rebirthing of a new heart generation streamline that puts you in a rotation spin cycle and nanotechnology set locations into your avatar stream set location. First time line setting and stream location. New heart direction time setting. So that puts you in position lines to your computer operation streamlines of 0001. 144 crystal grid line center in position location to 12 million track interference. Setting correlation system in position location of 48,000 line window and a 72,000 channel and a 144,000 grid location to hologram structure stream. In position location direction and 2 channel operations. 3 in the line setting, 4 position, and 5 in central calculation. Right? Closed signal, open channel, 2 set locations. 5 in division. So it's going to get more complicated now, right? Because you're channeling to higher communication settings, to all level locations. Okay. Recognizing communication is your area code settings, right? Recognized communication is a cluster. A class of communication is a cluster. A cluster is a formation locations in position. Right? So cluster channels operation streamlines causes confliction position locations of friction setting locations, electrical light settings to overload your circuit locations. Panel operation streamlines line settings into electrical line setting, electrical interference. Sets specific location directions and high channels of operation stream locations, right? So it's important you understand the cloud lines and set locations, right? Cloud lines and separation set line connections. Cloud lines and operation cycle connection site setting. Indirect locations, line set position of center operation, indirect location, and center calculation. Now, rotation spin cycle sets 1 position location and 2 channels. It operates as cyclone and high center interference, sets position located program locations. 3 channel operation streamlines into higher communications, right? Center line interference in position measures calculations all levels and set locations into memory and set line connections into systematical system, inline communication, set location. Triangulation set lines in all position location directions. Hooah. So recognizing communication is all levels and how you set up clusters and channels and operation streamlines and all levels to get galaxy set locations, individual locations. It's how you measure these things in your memory of your mind, your systematical to its communication cyclones. It sets division locations into fractions over pi. All right, setting signals and high generation streamlines. Like I said, this is going to get complicated now because you're opening up to higher levels of tracker settings. All right. It's very confusing, isn't it? All right, setting calculation all levels of Tina, setting line interference. Yep, Tina, this is right, 11.5, thank you. Let's see, that's Lori, calculations Geneva, set locations on Joanne, set line interference of Airbender, calculations Heather. Heather, communication line interference is Scrambler of Jill, set line communications David, all levels of Andy. Gemrocks, specifications all levels, Box, set line interference.